Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, affirmations, vision boards, meditation, but somehow, what you desire keeps slipping further away? You wake up early, hustle harder, visualize daily, and yet, the results are inconsistent or worse, non-existent. Here's the uncomfortable truth no one talks about. The more you chase something, the more your brain believes you don't have it. And that belief becomes your reality. This isn't spiritual fluff. This is neuroscience. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It memorizes emotions, habits, and thoughts, and reproduces them automatically. So, if your daily state is stress, frustration, or lack, guess what? That becomes your signal to the universe. Not your vision board. Not your affirmations. But your neural and emotional state. This video is not about doing more. It's about becoming different, rewiring how your brain operates so that your thoughts and energy match the reality you're trying to attract. Because when your brain is locked in survival mode, you can't create from possibility. You're stuck in memorized fear. But when you shift into a calm, coherent, creative state, your biology changes. Your brainwaves slow down. Your heart and mind align. And suddenly, you're no longer chasing, you're attracting. So what if the key isn't doing another thing, but entering another state? Stay with me, because at the end of this video, I'll give you one powerful phrase, a neurological cue, that can begin to rewire your inner world starting today. If you've ever felt exhausted by trying so hard, this could be the moment everything changes. Let's begin. Have you ever felt like no matter how much effort you put in, success still feels out of reach? Like you're running full speed on a treadmill, but getting nowhere? There's a reason for that. And it starts in your brain. When your nervous system is stuck in survival mode, your entire biology is wired for one thing: safety. Not growth. Not creativity. Not expansion. Just survival. Survival mode activates your sympathetic nervous system, triggering fight, flight, or freeze. This keeps your brain stuck in high beta wave patterns, a state associated with stress, hypervigilance, and overthinking. And here's the kicker: in this state, your brain is not designed to create. It's designed to react. You may want abundance, love, peace, but if your brain is scanning for threats all day, your energy communicates one thing to the universe: I'm not safe. I don't trust. I need to control. And guess what? Control is fear disguised as strategy. Let's pause here. Ask yourself honestly. Do you constantly feel like you have to prove your worth? Do you overanalyze, micromanage, or panic when things slow down? Do you equate stillness with laziness, or trust with risk? If you said yes to any of these, your brain might be addicted to stress. Yes, addicted. See, your body becomes chemically conditioned to stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, your cells start needing that rush to feel normal. It's like living inside a storm and calling it weather. You keep chasing because it feels familiar. But familiar doesn't mean aligned. It just means memorized. And here's what no one tells you: the longer you stay in that state, the more your identity fuses with it. You start saying things like, "This is just how I am. I'm a hustler. I don't stop." But you're not a hustler. You're a being designed to create. Let's talk brain chemistry. When you're constantly chasing, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for vision, planning, and conscious creation, goes offline. Why? Because the brain prioritizes survival over dreams. Now you're not manifesting, you're surviving. And survival doesn't attract. It defends. You repel what you want without realizing it, because your frequency is saying, "I don't have it. I need it. I'm desperate." The universe doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your energy. So how do we interrupt this cycle? It starts with awareness. With regulation. One of the fastest ways to exit survival mode is through conscious breathing. Here's a simple tool. Cyclone the 4-7-8 breath technique. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly for 8 seconds. Repeat for 3 rounds. This isn't just calming, it shifts your brainwaves out of high beta into alpha, a state of relaxed awareness. In alpha, you regain access to the prefrontal cortex. You start seeing possibility instead of danger. Over time, this shift creates a neurological pattern of safety. And safety is the foundation of receiving. Because you can't attract what you don't feel safe having. Think about that. If love feels dangerous, success feels overwhelming, or money feels like pressure, your subconscious will block it, even while your conscious mind begs for it. The brain doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what's familiar. So your job is to make abundance familiar. To make peace your new normal. To make trust the new pattern. That starts not with chasing, but with changing your state. Here's your reflection for today. What emotional state are you rehearsing every day? Stress? Doubt? Fear? Or trust, gratitude, alignment? You don't need more effort. You need a new signal. And that signal begins in your brain. Outcomes, and preparing for disappointment, you're not alone. But here's the truth, you can't create your future while living in the emotions of your past. To truly manifest what you desire, you must shift from a reactive state to a creative one. This isn't just motivational talk. It's neuroscience. When your brain is in high beta waves, you're in survival mode, overthinking, anxious, reactive. But when you shift into alpha and theta states, your brain begins to slow down, your body relaxes, and you gain access to your subconscious mind, the control center of your beliefs, identity, and automatic behaviors. And this is where transformation begins. You see, 95% of who you are, how you think, feel, and act, comes from subconscious programming. And most of those programs were written when you were too young to know any better. They say things like, you have to work hard to be worthy. Nothing comes easy. You don't get to have what you want. So even when you want success, love, or peace, your subconscious might be running in the opposite direction. You affirm abundance but feel scarcity. You visualize freedom but carry fear. You write goals but vibrate self-doubt. And the universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you are. This is why the shift from survival to creation is so important. When you feel grateful before the outcome, when you feel successful before the evidence, you're no longer reacting, you're creating. Why? Because your brain doesn't know the difference between a real and imagined experience. It will fire the same neurons and release the same chemicals, whether you're living something physically or emotionally. So when you consistently feel elevated emotions, gratitude, love, joy, as if your desired reality has already happened, you begin to condition your nervous system for that reality. This is called emotional rehearsal. And emotional rehearsal is how you rewire your brain and body to match the future you desire, before it arrives. Here's an example. Think about a memory that made you feel deeply grateful. When you relive that moment, your body responds with warmth, relaxation, expansion. Your brain releases dopamine and serotonin. Your heart rhythm becomes coherent. You're literally changing your chemistry with thought alone. Now imagine feeling that way not because of something that happened, but because of who you're becoming. That's creation mode. When you enter that state consistently, your electromagnetic field changes. Your thoughts, electric, and emotions, magnetic, form a signature, a frequency, that communicates with the field around you. You become the broadcast. And the world responds to your broadcast, not your effort, not your hustle, your coherence. This is why some people attract effortlessly. They've trained their body to live in alignment with their desired future, instead of being enslaved by the memory of their past. And here's something powerful, when you're no longer waiting for things to change in order to feel whole, you free yourself from the timeline of lack. You become abundant now. Love now. Worthy now. That changes everything. But let's be honest, at first, this feels unnatural. Your body wants to go back to what's familiar. Your mind will whisper, "This isn't working. Go back to what you know." That's the edge of transformation. Neuroplasticity teaches us that what you practice, you become. So practice thinking greater than you feel. Practice gratitude over doubt. Practice alignment over urgency. Because the future doesn't belong to those who chase it. It belongs to those who embody it before it arrives. So ask yourself, what would your day look like if you started from abundance, instead of trying to earn it? How would you speak, walk, and breathe if you already were who you're becoming? That version of you is available now. Not after the money comes. Not after the relationship appears. But now, in this moment. Because manifestation is not magic, it's alignment. And alignment is a choice you can make, again and again, every day. So if this message resonates with you so far, take a second to like this video. It helps more people align with their power, just like you're doing now. And when we move into the next chapter, we'll uncover the one thing your brain resists the most, letting go, and why surrender is actually the final step to becoming magnetic. Let's keep going. You've done the inner work. You've shifted out of survival. You've begun to feel your future before it arrives. And yet, there's one more step your brain almost always resists. Letting go. Because even when your conscious mind says, "I trust the process," your nervous system might still be whispering, "But what if it doesn't work?" That whisper comes from the most ancient part of your brain, the limbic system, the emotional center that's built for one thing, protection through control. To the survival brain, letting go feels like giving up power. It feels risky. It feels like floating without a lifeboat. But here's the paradox. Letting go is not about giving up control. It's about releasing resistance. It's not passivity, it's powerful alignment. When you obsess over the outcome, checking the results, questioning the timeline, needing proof, you're signaling to the field, "I don't have it yet. I'm not sure it's coming." That energy is charged with doubt. And doubt collapses coherence. Think of it like trying to see your reflection in a lake. If the water is still, your image is clear. But if you throw stones, impatience, fear, control, the water ripples, and the reflection disappears. The same is true with manifestation. Clarity comes through stillness. Magnetism is born in surrender. Now, surrender doesn't mean apathy. It doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means releasing the emotional grip you have on the outcome. It means taking aligned action without emotional dependency. It means trusting that what is meant for you is already finding you, and doesn't need to be chased, forced, or doubted. Letting go is a mental and energetic reset. When you release the pressure, your nervous system shifts into coherence. Your heart rhythm becomes stable. Your brain returns to alpha. And your field becomes clean, focused, and magnetic. In this state, you're no longer interrupting the process with anxious energy. You're allowing it. And science supports this. Studies on heart-brain coherence show that when people enter states of gratitude, trust, and acceptance, they experience enhanced cognitive clarity, reduced cortisol levels, and even improved immune function. Your biology thrives when you're no longer holding on so tightly. So how do you let go? It begins with a shift in identity. Instead of saying, "I need this to happen so I can feel safe," you begin saying, "I already am safe, and that allows what I desire to flow." One of the most powerful beliefs you can install is this: what's meant for me is already on its way. I don't chase, I align. When you live from that belief, your emotional state stabilizes. You show up differently. You speak with clarity. You attract with ease. Because there's nothing to prove. Nothing to force. Nothing to fix. You become magnetic by being whole, not by being desperate. And your energy becomes an invitation, not a demand. Letting go is not an event. It's a practice. A muscle you build. A choice you return to again and again. So whenever the fear creeps in, ask yourself, am I forcing this? Or am I trusting this? Is my energy loud and chaotic? Or grounded and clear? And remember, the version of you that already has what you desire isn't chasing. They're living, breathing, trusting, allowing. You can be that version now. Because you don't need to chase what is already aligned. You simply need to match its frequency and let it meet you halfway. And when you do that, you don't just manifest things. You manifest peace. You manifest wholeness. You manifest a life that reflects the truth of who you've become. So let's bring this all together. You've learned that your brain, when stuck in survival mode, is wired to chase, constantly scanning, controlling, and reacting. And that chasing doesn't attract, it repels. You've seen how emotional rehearsal, grounded in science, allows you to train your brain and body to feel the future before it arrives, so that your identity becomes a match for what you desire. And you've discovered the final step, letting go, the most challenging, yet the most powerful. Because it's in stillness that clarity emerges. In trust that your signal becomes magnetic. And in surrender that life begins to flow. This is not about trying harder. It's about being deeper. It's about choosing alignment over effort. Energy over struggle. Intention over noise. The truth is, you are not broken. You are not behind. You are not blocked. You're simply being invited to evolve. To release the old patterns that kept you chasing. And to become the version of yourself that no longer needs to. Because when you shift from trying to prove your worth to living from your worth, everything changes. So ask yourself, what would it look like if I stopped chasing and started trusting? What if I let my energy speak before my words? What if I believe that what I seek is already seeking me? Now is the time to decide. Let this be the moment you stop striving and start allowing. If this journey has resonated with you, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because your transformation is just beginning, and we'll be right here, guiding you every step of the way. You are the magnet. And now, the world is listening.